Hi, my name's Rachel, and today we're here to talk about Icebreaker by A.L. Graziade? Is that how you say it? I couldn't find any interviews. I'm sorry. This is a rivals to lovers sports romance that really took me by surprise. Was not expecting it to be a 5-star read for me, but it was. This is as much like a YA contemporary as it is a romance. I don't know that it was marketed as a YA contemporary, but I feel like it's just as much contemporary as it is a romance. So our synopsis: 17-year-old Mickey James III is a college freshman, a brother of 5 sisters, and a hockey legacy. With a father and a grandfather who have gone down in NHL history, Mickey is almost guaranteed in the league's top draft spot. The only person standing in his way is Jason Caulfield, a contender for the #1 spot, and Mickey's infuriatingly attractive teammate. When rivalry turns to something more, Mickey will have to decide what he really wants and what he's willing to risk for it. This is a story about falling in love, finding your team on and off the ice, and choosing your own path. So I went into this book similarly to another book that I read in January, which was Edgewood by Kristen I can't say her name. Ciccarelli. We'll go with that. I expected this to be like a palate cleanser. I read it on audiobook. I was not expecting to give it more than like 3.5 stars. I was wrong. I love being wrong. This is why you should always try new things, unless it's food, in which case always order your favorite. I was just expecting this to be like a quick audio that I could read, review, and move on. Instead, I found a new favorite, which is awesome. Right at the beginning of the year. Fuck yeah. And this one will really stay with me for a long time to come. So personally, I walk into sports romances with a lot of hesitancy, and this one was perfect for my taste as a person who just does not really care about sports. If you want a review from an actual person who loves hockey, I will link Alex's channel down below. He loves hockey and he loved this book. This was like perfect for him. It can be really easy for me to zone out in sports romances, but I have had a lot of success in the last year with them. The hockey scenes lent something to the book every time it was brought up. I never felt like I was zoning out. I felt like I was engaged. I was able to picture what was happening, and I actually gave a shit because it was more character focused than actually about the sport. I really have to commend the author for what they did here. The way that they were able to portray with such nuance so many topics that I feel like some books just don't do so well in depicting, such as like anxiety, particularly like anxious feelings about how to proceed with your future when you're in college, just starting college, that kind of thing. Bisexuality, bisexual erasure, being bisexual as a man, the guilt associated with being depressed when you also have privilege, and then being a depressed college student, and the anxiety on top of that, how it's like a cyclical thing where it's like, I am depressed and I need to deal with my depression, but I need to do school, but I need to deal with my depression, but I need to do school. And even like the struggle to do simple tasks when you are depressed and it really like at rock bottom with your depression. Normalizing getting on antidepressants, normalizing having that conversation with your parents and them being supportive of you getting on antidepressants. I didn't personally attend college for very long, and I did not graduate. I never got a degree in anything, but this still resonated with me very deeply, and I think that it's vital representation that so many college students will see themselves in. The romance was very rivals to lovers, and I loved it. I was rooting for those kids the whole time. They very clearly had chemistry from the jump, but they very much disliked each other because of the rivalry. But the progression and the way that this author cultivated and paced this romance between the characters, I found so well executed. The way that they initially start going from like really being irked by each other, even though there's some attraction, to walking towards something more was just so well done. There was a really wonderful scene that the author wrote that was just a really believable step towards reconciling and sparks flying while still having that underlying rivalry, but also dealing with, okay, maybe this person isn't as shitty as I thought they were, and I still find them deeply attractive. It was just, there were so many layers. It was so good. This is one of those great books where side characters don't fall by the wayside. I love to see that. When side characters, like a majority, not just like one, you know, side best friend, but all of them are well utilized. Yes. I loved the hockey team. I loved our main character's best friend. I loved watching the family dynamics played out, especially because our main character has 5 sisters and each of them are very different, and he has relationships that are very different with all 5 of them, as well as different relationships with his parents. And it shows how even though you can be in the same family, you can have a different relationship with your parents than 2 of your other siblings. So for instance, one sister was really understanding of Mickey, our main character, being frustrated frustrated with having been sort of abandoned by his parents, put him into this line towards a hockey career as a kid. While our other sister is like, Dad's not that bad. You need to get over it. What the hell? I also just really loved that they were all their own people. One sister actually was in a poly relationship with 2 other guys, so that was really cool. Just sort of having that like rep there on the side was great, and it was just like a normal thing. We didn't have to delve into it and like make it about like, oh, you know, the parents don't like that she's in a poly relationship. It was just normal. As far as the parents go, I really appreciated that there was conversations towards conflict resolution, and nothing was perfect at the end, but it was clear that in the future they're going to be walking towards a better relationship, and I think that that's great and realistic. Overall, I feel like this book is really doing a lot of special things. If you like queer rivals to lovers, if you like sports romance, this will work for you, but also if you want to see a book with good representation of depression and anxiety and dealing with those things in a college setting, not really sure where to go with your future, feeling almost like crushed by that uncertainty and anxiety, I think that you'll see yourself in this main character like I did. It does what it set out to do. It did it well. I gave it 5 stars. I highly recommend this book if you're looking for a semi-hard-hitting, also a great romance contemporary YA book in a college setting. Oh, also, side note, great discussion of like how we interact and use social media and how we are portrayed on social media and how we choose to portray ourselves on social media. Really good. Just really good. Highly recommend. 5 out of 5. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what your favorite sports romance is. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.